sign of the giant, out of sight, out of mind, the blind leading the blind leading the blind, the sign of the giant, out of sight, out of mind, the blind leading the
I almost didn't make it to my first day of training. After seeing my first SPW show, I was hooked. I was ready to dive in head first, 17 years old. Late at night, I went back to where it all began. When I showed up to training, the gate was locked. So I hopped that fence in one swoop. On the other side, there was no ring, no trainers, just an empty parking lot. I went to the wrong place, and I felt that self-doubt that maybe I wasn't cut out for this. So when you see me in the ring doing cartwheels, it's because I fought for every moment to be there. First day of training. Sweet.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the IWCP Independent Wrestling Podcast right here on the Value of Wrestling. This is Independent Wrestling Community Podcast, where we talk about everything independent wrestling. If you saw that beautiful video that was posted on X earlier today with on WWID and, of course, our good buddy Jack Summit, the Cartwheel Jack Summit, posted it on his X account, and we decided that we wanted to share that brief video right there, making his debut on WWID and letting people know just who Jack Cartwheel is, a little bit about his story, about almost missing the first day of training. Great little vignette, great little video there. Go check it out if you can. You know, one of the great talents that we met while being part of SPW, and we're so happy to see a rising star with an SPW making it to that level, signing at WWID. Who's next? Well, we have a few names, but we'll have to wait and see. But let's talk independent wrestling. I know this is not a live show. It is not Thursday night when we normally air this show. This is, pre-recorded, and we're going to put it out on Thursday because tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So let's first say, from the Value of Wrestling family, from ours to yours, a happy Thanksgiving and a happy holiday season as we move into that wonderful season. So enjoy your turkey, enjoy all the trimming to the fixings, because the Value of Wrestling is going to go big tomorrow when we celebrate our Thanksgiving. We hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, whether it's big or small. We hope you have a good one, and let all that other stuff be set at the door. And if it gets too much, let's just turn on some independent wrestling and chill out, because everybody loves some great independent wrestling to watch. What a better day to spend with family than to watch the Value of Wrestling and the Independent Wrestling Community Podcast and other great videos right here on the Value of Wrestling, but also watching some great indie wrestling or just watching wrestling. In fact, who knows and who remembers back in the day when Survivor Series came on Thanksgiving, and you got to sit there and enjoy some nice Thanksgiving leftovers and watch some of the best in professional wrestling at the time.
Well, I think we all do. I still do. I'll put on old Survivor Series in the background while I'm cooking in the morning, and then watching a more recent one or one that maybe the kids will pick out. We'll sit there and watch it, just reliving an old tradition that just doesn't seem to die, and I'm okay with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a fun time. We hope you have a great time tomorrow. Fill your belly, have a good time, leave the drama at the door. Let's have an enjoyable holiday season, and let's just think about the yummy, yummy food. And then we hope that you're safe and stay safe. Black Friday. If you're going out and doing your thing or doing whatever needs to be done, if you have a certain item that you're going to go target, be safe, be respectful of one another, have fun, and then come back Friday night for your SmackDown post-show review, because we're going to be here to cover everything on SmackDown. We didn't do Monday Night Raw. Wasn't a whole lot to talk about. It was what it was. We'll be here for SmackDown, and, of course, we'll be here Saturday night for your whole breakdown of Survivor Series, breaking down the amazing War Games and everything else going on. But this is independent wrestling. This is the Independent Wrestling Community Podcast, and we're going to talk indie wrestling. Now, today...
Real quick. Just because you're around some steel chairs on Black Friday doesn't mean you need to use them. Okay, folks? Let's be safe out there.
Unless your name is
you, big time.
Unless your name is Tony, then you have free reign to take a couple of chair shots to your daddy.
Just because he had the
Look,
sparkle in his eye.
let's tell the truth to the boys. Since you wanna sit in the back and stir the pot, let's point out the over obvious that Tony needs to know about. That one, Senor Z, the super heavyweight luchador, is the one that beckoned the almighty Marty Richards. He was the one who kept asking Marty Richards to talk to Tony, that he needed to say hi to Tony. So let's make sure we know the whole kit and caboodle's out of the bag, because I got attacked. There may have been some connection there. I don't know. But you know what? I think it's time for Tony to know that you're the man behind all the Marty Richards shenanigans, and any Marty Richards shenanigans that may continue to come. So, hey, Tony, if you got to make a phone call, remember who the man behind the strings sometimes is.
Yeah, he also remembers who pays that phone bill. So
That's okay. He's still going to pay the phone bill after that steel chair. Just tell him you're going to pay that phone bill, or do I got to hit you with another one?
We don't need to get him started, even though he had a stool in his hand and was pondering that idea. I mean,
it's okay, Tony. I'm good friends with Lucha Santa. Lucha Santa will make sure you're on the good list, even if you have to give your own daddy the beat down. I'll put in some good calls for you, Tony. We appreciate you watching, Tony. Speaking of Lucha Santa, Lucha Santa is going to be all over the place coming up in December, and so is the Valiant Wrestling. Lucha Santa, December 8th, Barrios Toys, not Rancho. Why am I going to go Rancho Cordova? No, Roseville, California. Barrios Toys, 100 Atkinson Street in Roseville, California, December 8th between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Lucha Santa. Come out, get your free gifts, get your free pictures with Santa. Lucha Santa in the his house on December 8th. Barrios Toys. It's going to be fun. Then you can catch Lucha Santa at another event called Pro Championship Wrestling. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, PCW on December 14th in Yuba City. You can catch Christmas Clash being brought to you by PCW. Lucha Santa is going to be there with a lot of other big names like our boy, the Dark Fox Illumide. It looks like Nathan Brick is going to be there with a lot of other names. And this man will be joining Lucha Santa for that event. We're going to go up there. We're going to hang out, at least myself, at PCW's event on December 14th in Yuba City. And then there's another sighting of Lucha Santa, as Lucha Santa is going to be at the return of Ugly Dojo to Vacaville, California. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, after an event beyond the control of Ugly Dojo, they had to cancel their event for this month, but they have finally came out and announced they will be back in December, on December 21st, for Ugly Dojo Wrestling on Saturday, December 21st. At the Three Oaks Community Center. They've got everything worked out. If you haven't gone and checked out the video that explained why they weren't able to do the event this month, it's over there on Ugly Dojo on YouTube. But yes, go check it out. But Lucha Santa advertised for Ugly Dojo Wrestling. It also looks like the main match that has been set up there, Ugly Dojo I don't see it now, so maybe things have changed. We'll have to wait and see. But Surza is going to be there.
Real quick, the beautiful thing about professional wrestling, folks. Real quick, the beautiful thing about professional wrestling is that it always has the disclaimer card subject to change. That is always the beautiful thing because you never know what's going to happen, folks.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Ugly Dojo is going to be back in action on Saturday, December 21st at the Three Oaks Community Center in Vacaville, California. The Value Wrestler will be there. Lucha Santa will be there. It looks like the Dark Fox Illuminate is going to be there. Possibly some other big names. Maybe from the images and information that I might see here, we may see our old pal, Chupacabra. Good old Chupi.
Oh, yeah.
At the Ugly Dojo.
Yeah. Oh, of course. That's going to be a great one. I mean, and it doesn't stop there, folks. It doesn't stop there because we just keep rolling along.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it keeps coming and coming. It's going to be a good time. And December 14th seems to be a busy, busy day. A lot of companies having action. We know that PCW Pro Championship Wrestling in Yuba City is having a big event. And if you're a fan of Chupacabra, he's going to be in action in Reno, Nevada for Wild West Championship Wrestling, a lump of coal for your soul on Saturday, December 14th. Some great action up there. If you're going to be in the Reno, Nevada area for the holiday season, you may want to go check out that event. That should be a lot of fun and a lot of great things to see there. But December 14th, I think a lot of people are going to be in action that weekend. I mean, we know PCW and now Wild West Championship Wrestling has a major event going on that date too.
Man, it does sound like a great time. That's for sure, folks. You know what? If there was a way to put us in every place on the same day, I mean, if Hogan can do it, maybe we can do it too. I don't know.
Well, maybe we get big enough to have a staff big enough that we can be at multiple events in the future. I mean, hell, there's also a big match taking place in Sacramento on December 14th. So you can join action with PCW in Yuba City, Wild West Championship Wrestling in Reno, Nevada. Or if you want to go to Sacramento at the Colonial Theater, Total Wrestling Federation is going to bring Wreck the Halls on December 14th. Also, one of their big events there is going to be the Human Highlight Reel. Landon Ramos will be taking on the Force of Nature, Drake Frost. Go Frosty, as always, we say right here. So, I mean, there is action going on the 14th in all types of places. December 14th, Yuba City, Sacramento, Reno. And that's just some of the action that we're looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more, and that's why you tune in here to check out what is going on in independent wrestling, at least in the Northern California, Bay Area of California area, because we try to keep you updated and connected to all those events, hopefully to get connected with other companies across the country so we can celebrate them. Now, if you're done stuffing your belly after Thanksgiving, and then you're ready to do your Friday shopping, and it's Saturday, and you're looking for something to do because you're bored and you just want to chill, well, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be time to head over to Berkeley, California on November 30th. After it's all said and done, as you come down on a Saturday, your weekend's almost ready. You know Monday's knocking on the door, but you still want to have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, get to Berkeley, California. Get to Gilman Brewery, because that's where Oasis Pro Year 2 is going to go down. Some great and amazing matches are going to take place. You're going to not want to miss this. Some great names, all in action on November 30th, going to happen right there in Berkeley, California, with Oasis Pro Wrestling and Year 2 event going down.
Oasis Pro on it. Now, see, that sounds like a good trip, especially if you're looking to get out of the house, relieve some stress, forget about how much money you spent on Friday, I mean,
Hey, the family that's came in to visit, they're driving you nuts. Pack them all up, take them over to Berkeley, take them to this amazing show. It's going to be a show for the ages. It's definitely something you don't want to miss. The Value Wrestling would love to be there, but it's just not going to work out in our schedule. We have to pick which events we're going to because December is booked, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we are booked from top to bottom. We are going December 8th to Roseville, California. December 14th, I'm going to PCW in Yuba City to meet up with Lucha Santa and others. And then that Saturday, I got to get back on the road as we hit SPW Supreme Pro Wrestling Hostile Holiday, Elk Grove, California, that indoor soccer world arena where we're going to be there and we're going to have a blast. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to set a standard. We're going to change the world of independent wrestling, and there's going to be some great matches. I'm sure we're still waiting to hear the card coming out of Supreme Pro Wrestling. We just can't wait to hear how it's going to go down when Supreme Pro Wrestling brings you Hostile Holiday on December 15th from the Soccer World Indoor Arena on Kent Street in Elk Grove, California. Big question there. The big question there will be all eyes on the Dark Fox on Lumine on who is next. Who is going to be the challenger? Will he be defending that title? Will we see another opportunity of the man who can kind of say that he was robbed? He was ousted. He was cheated out of that title. At Still Hungry, the metal mechanic Bobby Callahan definitely had his fingertips on that belt at different times in that match. But the Dark Fox Illuminate coming out on top. Some people are going to say it was below the champ the way he won that match, that the champ couldn't beat the metal mechanic Bobby Callahan clean. But that's what some people say. I say the champ is still your reigning, defending, undefeated SPW heavyweight champion, 400 plus days and counting. And I don't think there's anybody on that roster right now that stands out that may be the man to take down the big man, the champ, the Dark Fox Illuminate. But, there's always a great surprise. You never know who's going to show up. You never know when they're going to show up. So, who knows? And, of course, a lot of other great questions. How is Shaq Tracy going to feel after losing that Extreme title to Daniel Torch? Is Daniel Torch ready to see who's going to step up for his next challenge? Rumors are circulating that even Lucha Santa might show up at SPW's Hostile Holiday. Lucha Santa making those rounds. And how's the Honor Society going to react to losing the Trios titles at last month's event? Still Hungry. And will we see the new Trios champions of Patrick Fitzpatrick, the Wildfire, Chris Blaze, and, of course, the ECW legend, the man I love to also say is the Smoky Mountain Wrestling legend. You got to remember Smoky Mountain Wrestling. If you don't know, go check it out. Smoky Mountain Wrestling had its place in the hearts of people at that time and era. If you got the guy at Smoky Mountain Wrestling, there was some great stuff going on there. One half of the tag team known as the Gangsters, Mustafa Saeed. That's going to be one hell of a challenge. We got to see what Bobby Callahan is going to feel after the way things ended last month, and all the other great names and members of the SPW roster. Can't wait to see how this card folds up. Will the all-day crew, Bryce Coos and Aiden Andrews, show up? Will they have another match? They've gone 0-2 in the last two events. When is their day to show that they are legit? I mean, they are a great young tag team coming up in the ranks. But the last two times in their outings on SPW shows, they've come up just slightly short. And, of course, at SPW Hostile Holiday, I'm sure we're going to see one more match, one more go. But we all have to ask what's going to happen when Dante Daring and Chima come face-to-face one more time. At Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights, Chima was brutally attacked by his friend, his partner, his brother, as he said. Dante Daring, after their tag team match, Daring turned on Chima. Dante Daring coming out Still Hungry, telling us why he turned on Chima. Chima came out and they had a quick match, but Dante Daring coming up in the victor in that short outing But Chima wasn't going down quietly. Chima looking for revenge. Will he be able to extract that revenge at Hostile Holiday on December 15th in Elk Grove, California, when Supreme Pro Wrestling brings you a very hostile holiday?
Between Chima and Dante Daring, I mean, it's kicked off to being a hell of a feud. A little bit of payback here. I mean, if this keeps going, if there's that much bad blood, what do you do with these two men? How would you lay this to rest? What would be a proper ending in your case of these two?
I don't know where this is going to go. I got to see what this next match is going to be, but I have a feeling we're going to have to escalate the type of match. We had a one-on-one match that was brief, quick, and fast. Dante Daring coming out with a big victory. But where do you escalate this match? What's that next level? Could we possibly see a annual tradition sometimes at a Hostile Holiday, a fan bring a weapon match? Could we get it streamed between Dante Daring and Chima? Is this where we need to go? Could we have some type of steel cage match? Does this match need to be secured in a cage? Or do we take it another level further? We've been around SPW. We know they have a lot of things in the back. What if this is a casket match? Or better yet, what if this is a hair versus hair match? I mean, what would be one of the greatest ways to extract revenge on somebody who betrayed you? Or what would be one of the great ways if you betrayed your partner who you felt couldn't carry the weight of your tag team than to shave the other person's head?
Man, you bring up fans bring weapons, and I've been to a couple of those, and the fans are very creative. I'll say that.
Hey, if that goes,
like you said, if that's the case, we just need to make sure they stay away from our table because it's not up for grabs.
But I got about a 55-inch TV that's still sitting here that has got a little, you barely got tapped in the corner. It has a little crack here, so you can't, you can see where that little ding is, and it doesn't light up. So I mean, maybe that needs to come with us. Maybe that can be used in some way. Who knows? But we're gonna have to wait to see what this card is going to turn out to be. It's going to be interesting. We can't wait to get there, set up, and talk to a lot of these folks as we move forward and get to hear from them. Really hoping to talk to the legendary group of SPW. People, ladies and gentlemen, folks, it's not very often that four men, four superstars, four wrestlers, four young talent can come together and work together in what many would call a faction. It's not very often when we talk about factions, stables, or when a group of people come together and fight for a common bond, whether it be good or bad. But when you find four men with the talent that we have, I mean, these men are almost feel like you could say they are the next evolution, at least for Supreme Pro Wrestling, or they could even be a four horsemen of SPW. Ladies and gentlemen, we really hope to sit down and get a chance to talk to the group known loudly and proudly across independent wrestling as the Appeal. Speaking of Nathan Brick, Jason Xavier, Jack Tracy, and the SPW champion, the Dart Fox Illumide. This is a collection of men that are very talented, and they're young talent. They are definitely a group that could make some waves in the world of professional wrestling if the right people are watching. And they have an interesting following when you come to SPW, and the fans are chanting, we. So who knows? Yeah. I'm hoping that we get to sit down and have a brief conversation with those four men at Hostile Holiday. That would be a great Christmas gift for this guy to be able to sit down and get how they feel before we start this great event. But, we'd love to sit down and talk to some of the great names. We'd love to catch up with the Trios champions, Patrick Fitzpatrick, the Wildfire, Chris Blaze, and, of course, the ECW legend himself, the Smoky Mountain Wrestling memory of Mustafa Saeed. I mean, who would not want to interview those guys? And, of course, we're getting to know the Wildfire Chris Blaze on a different level and have nothing but total respect for everything that man has helped us do. And that's always great. And of course, love to hear how the Honor Society is feeling after losing the trios titles. Who knows how many times in December we're going to have a conversation with Lucha Santa. I don't know. Maybe in 2025, maybe at next Hostile Holiday, maybe at next year's holiday season, Lucha Santa and the super heavyweight luchador Senor Z can come together in unification, creating one of the greatest luchador tag teams in professional wrestling. Who knows what can happen?
You never know, folks. You never know. But yeah, just it's just everything that's just coming to. It's almost unreal. As busy as we are right now, I would have never expected the doors that have opened and those that have welcomed us in with open arms, and we just have so much respect. We come in so humble to this day, and what we do with with everyone on all across the board.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's interesting doors and pathways that have been opened. The journey that started. Originally, yes, the channel started back in 2021. It really didn't get its launching point until last summer. It really took off around June, July of last year. So I really say that this channel has been around for a year because we started it. Me and Mr. Clark started it back in 2021, and we kind of got the groove. Life happened, things fell off, but then in 2023, we made the great comeback, and we stayed committed. And for over a year now, we've been here delivering, producing, changing, growing, developing, bringing things together. And I can't wait because a big event's coming up in February of next year. A lot of great events are coming up next year. We can't. Fighting Spirit Pro Wrestling is card on January 4th, is being stacked more and more. Some amazing names coming out for that show. And then February, it seems like there's a plethora of shows that are going to go down in February of 2024, ladies and gentlemen. Because, this place is just looking like it's going to be a royal time. We're looking at Collectible Stampede possibly doing the show. Something to do with AJ Kirsch coming up on February 1st in Oakland, California. We don't know all the details, or maybe not even AJ Kirsch, but a good friend of AJ's, the bro man, the broso, Joe Brody, coming out on X and making an announcement that something is going down, something new on February 1st. So that might be something that's going to be interesting to follow. We know February 15th and 16th, Stockton Con is going to be rocking the halls. I'm very interested. I'm going to have to touch base. Wow, February 15th and 16th. Yeah, I'm looking at the dates for 2025. And if you look at it, we know that Stockton Con, and they're already starting to make announcements about special guests that are coming out to Stockton Con for the 15th and the 16th. So that's going to be interesting. We know Rebel Warriors Championship Wrestling is supposed to be doing a show in February. We heard Collectible Stampede is supposed to be back sometime in February. And I'm very confused, and we're going to have to check in with some information. We're going to have to check in with the powers to be at SPW, because usually every third Sunday of the month, SPW has live action in Elk Grove, California at the Indoor Soccer World Arena. But if you're working at February 2025, the third Sunday of February is February 16th, Stockton Con. Where Supreme Pro Wrestling usually performs at Stockton Con. Will they be there, or will they be having a show in Elk Grove on the 16th? Or will there not be a show in February, or will there be a different date for wrestling in February. That's going to be interesting. I hadn't even looked that far in the future.
No, I don't have a glass ball here, folks. I mean, I can't be like, oh, maybe. No. Well, you're saying that Stockton Con winter has already started. They've already started announcing the guests. And first and foremost, I mean, if you're a pop culture fan, I mean, this is right up your alley. I mean, other than the fact that Stockton Con is always the biggest party for any pop culture fan. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I mean, just from what I've seen, I know a certain individual, as the little man, might be very excited because that boy watches TV more than I do, so he'll be excited.
Well, I see a couple Power Rangers are going to be at the show, so that'll be interesting.
Yes.
So it's going to be an interesting time, but I mean, that's a lot of things are interesting that I hadn't paid attention to, but are slowly coming together. It'll be interesting to see what SPW does in February. I don't know if they have a show. I mean, it's out there, and of course, SPW going into 2025 is building up and getting ready for their 25th anniversary show, One Supreme Night in April. So it's definitely going to be something special for that to all come together. So a lot to look into.
You bring up the anniversary show, One Supreme Night. Obviously, everybody wants the main event spot. I don't know if I'm going to be chewing on my own words because I mentioned on the rebound that I want a piece of that main event. We know you would like a piece of that main event.
Oh, I throw my name out there. I mean, I've gotten so excited because, I mean, how can you not get excited when you see this great talent come out and put out these challenges and go, I want the spot? They just make you want to jump in there, go, I want the spot.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I mean, with the way things are, I mean, you never know. Can't never say never. But I'm very excited what 2025 is going to bring. We know that it's going to kick off hot and heavy. And hopefully at the end of all this, we'll wrap around tying I'll tie a nice bow on WrestleMania weekend and then boom, right to Elk Grove the following week.
Yeah, it's busy. Everything's getting booked up. We are staying solidly busy. And it's just going to be go. And then, 2025 is going to hit the corner and we're still going to be doing it and doing it well. And I can't wait to see what we get when we hit April and we get One Supreme Night. It is going to be a fun time with everything coming up to end the year off with a bang and then to move into next year, starting everything hot and wild.
Oh yeah. I had to go on. I was sitting there, and you brought it up last week. Cage match. You got to give them their due. They have about as accurate as you can get with anything. And I mean, just to think of the roster that SPW has had over the years. I mean, unreal. Some of these guys I've got to see a lot of. Some of these guys have moved on to greener pastures. And then there's the ones that, you know what? They went, they tried it, and either it was for them or not, and right back home at SPW. It's unreal. I mean, you have guys, I'm looking at some of them, and one of those guys it has to be, I don't know, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Bloodsport, whatever you want, Johnny Everyday. Like he was one of the first big ones to come out of there, and I mean, look at the pathway he's left for himself.
Yes.
I mean, just unbelievable.
Yep, no, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a fun time. We're blowing out the doors here. I just look back in SPW history. It does look like they had a show last February called We Want the Smoke. So I don't know what they're going to do this February. It's going to be very interesting how those pieces come together. And we'll be there to play our role and do what we do. But it's It's going to be interesting. For sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I was just looking at it. They do no, they have the results added up. I mean, whoever's doing this, kudos to you. I mean, you just make our day a little easier when we want to read off and give a bounce back on what we've seen. 'Cause,
Exactly.
man, oh wow. I'm kind of curious if I should just sit here and just kind of peek back for when I was going and just who was who's not there shits. So I mean that's just for
Well,
fun and enjoy.
everything's always changing, and that's the great thing we always hear about. You never know who's going to be where and who's the next big name to come out of a company. It's always fun to see those things change and grow. I mean, you can research the rosters and look back and see some of the names that have been a part of these of this company from top to bottom. You just never know who's going to show up and who's going to be there at any of these shows, and that's why we tell you all the time to come out, check out these shows, because you just never know when or where somebody's going to come out and be there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's just I mean, just for name, like you said, you never know who's going to be there. You never know who's you're going to see. I mean, I remember the reaction you had when you seen the ECW legend, the Smoky Mountain Tag Team Champion, one half of the Gangsters, Mustafa Saeed, walked out into the arena.
Yeah.
Just the awe. That man still carries an aura with him.
Oh,
And I mean,
exactly.
just wow. Still going, still doing his thing.
Just looking it up, Illuminate has carried that title now for 410 days.
Holy smokes.
He is working his way up into the top notches, the top echelon of title reigns at Supreme Pro Wrestling. I mean, I'm looking through. He surpassed, the long range of Big Ugly himself, J.D. Bishop. Many of those. Bobby Hart had a 399-day reign as SPW champion. Daniel Church reigning for 364 days. Of course, Illuminate has a long ways to get to the longest reigning champion at SPW history from 2019 to 2022. Drake Frost carried that title for a record-setting 860 days.
Oh wow, that's right. Frosty with the longest reign.
Illuminate looking like, from everything I can read and what I know, looking like the second longest reigning SPW champion. Could he break that record? I guess we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm looking through, like I said, we talk SPW so much, and just it's out, as people would say, you're beating a dead horse, guys. But with the involvement and the respect that we have for them and what they have done for us as we've done for them, I'm looking at some of these matches, and I kind of wonder, like, are we going to get to that point? Because I mean, for the SPW Extreme title, for the longest time, it was an Extreme 7 series. And at the time, Mike Hayashi was gunning for that belt. And I mean, that was very entertaining to see.
Yeah.
I was at one of those. One of them was a Taipei death match. And if you don't know Taipei, folks, that is where you wrap your hands in rope and glass and use that to your advantage in the match.
Well, it's just something we're going to have to wait and see how it all plays out. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fun time. We've enjoyed this conversation, and we're just going to get you more pumped each and every week right here on Thursday nights coming into December. Of course, this is the Independent Wrestling Community Podcast. We usually do this live, but since tomorrow's Thanksgiving, we thought we'd do a recorded special. So you have something to watch, something to enjoy tomorrow during the holiday. But we'll be back next Thursday with a live broadcast. We do have an open door for anybody who wants to join us, who wants to talk about anything upcoming and sit down and have a fun time. In December 12th, it's going to be a great Thursday show, ladies and gentlemen. Be here for December 12th. And get ready for a one heck of a show right before that major double weekend blast, PCW and then SPW. It's going to be crazy, ladies and gentlemen. We hope to see you all then. Join us, join in the conversation. But we're going to get out of here for the night. Get ready to get up early tomorrow and start the meal preps. A long day of early morning cooking and then a nice night of getting these bellies fat and full. And then we go from there, and I will probably burn a lot of that off by Monday. So,
Yep. Maybe a nap. Maybe a nap after all that food. We all know how we roll.
yep. Senor Z will be taking his siesta, dreaming of being the super heavyweight luchador, and he's going to have sweet dreams of beating Gunther and becoming WWE World Heavyweight Champion in his siesta.
Yeah. It's a good dream.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week.
Later, folks.
Yeah.